on December 23, 1971 in Toronto, Canada, Corey Haim was encouraged at a young age to take acting classes to build confidence. More interested in comics and sports, Corey thought he'd be more fit for hockey. However, after seeing his older sister Carol audition for roles, Corey decided to try his hand at landing a professional gig. He began appearing in commercials at the age of 10, till he landed his first big role in a Canadian series, The Edison Twins, which aired from 1982 to 1986. While this was going on, Corey's parents divorced, and he coped with it by clinging to his professional life. After gaining notoriety from playing a high school outcast in the 1986 film Lucas, Corey Haim was poised for higher profile projects and greater Hollywood exposure. The 2013 memoir by Corey Feldman, Choreography, details the sexual abuse he and Haim suffered as young actors in the film industry. During the filming of Lucas, Feldman stated that Haim was tricked into sexual acts with a man on set who told him that men and boys have sex all the time in Hollywood and that it was normal. Feldman explained to Haim that no, it wasn't normal, and that children should not be having those kinds of interactions with adults. Haim was 14 by the time he starred in the 1987 vampire film Lost Boys, which is what he's most known for today. A hit with the fans and critics, the film launched Haim into the realm of teen heartthrob, along with his new friend Corey Feldman, with whom he would go on to star in 7 separate features. While the sudden stardom was welcome, it had its share of problems in Corey's life. His mother states that he was very difficult to discipline at home, and he'd become very competitive with Feldman over roles. While filming Dream a Little Dream in 1988, Corey began to experience the Hollywood high life on and off the set. After the film wrapped, he and Feldman decided to part ways. His addictive lifestyle began to take a turn. Attending parties that introduced him to pills and cocaine assisted in his spiral out of control. In an interview with The Sun, Haim stated, "I lived in LA in the 1980s, which was not the best place to be. I did cocaine for about a year and a half, and then it led to crack." When Corey was 17, he entered a drug rehab program, but left after only 5 days, having manipulated his mother into letting him out, promising he was okay. He later stated that he was far from okay, and despite telling the public that he had it under control, the addiction lasted another 20 years. His mother took the stance of naive in interviews with E!, stating that she simply didn't know how to handle her son's behavior, and as a result, he did whatever he wanted. As an adult, Corey stated that the drugs were his way of coping with the sexual abuse he'd received. In an interview with People, he said he felt ashamed and just wanted to roll with the punches. He said, quote, "Stuff happens when you're a kid. It scars you inside for life. This is just how I look at it." As expected, the drugs began to take a toll on the young actor's work. After his stay in rehab, Corey returned to Hollywood in pursuit of more roles, but his reputation had gotten around, and not much work was coming in for a 17-year-old drug addict. 2 years later, Corey tried speed for the first time, taking so much that he was up for 4 days and had to call his doctor. It was then his addiction shifted from illegal drugs to prescription painkillers. By the early 90s, Corey was dealing with a failed engagement, a lack of work, a lack of income, and a serious drug addiction. An incident that added gasoline to the fire would take place after Corey backed out of the film Paradise Bar in 1996. The insurance company Lloyd's of London sued the actor for lying about his drug addiction and lost the money when he bailed out of the film. Haim filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in July 1997. He owed more than $100,000 to the IRS and had a variety of medical expenses. Being broke, Corey moved in with his dad in Montreal, but the man was not prepared to deal with him. Corey described taking swings at his dad while high and ended up in a mental ward strapped down for hours due to how out of control he got. In mid-1999, Corey dated playmate Cindy Geyer for a short period of time, but he was far from being under control. She was quoted as saying, "He threw me into a car door and I had to drive myself to the hospital to get 5 stitches. I wrote him a $2,000 check to check into Betty Ford. I actually paid to get this kid out of my life." She became another heartbreak in his unstable life. By 2004, Corey had been in and out of rehab 15 times to no avail. Feldman was quoted as saying, "He made so many attempts at suicide. He's OD'd so many times. I mean, I can't begin to tell you. Having him foaming at the mouth, coming downstairs and finding him that way and drooling and not able to speak, and me having to put charcoal down his throat so that he could breathe." Haim later spoke on Larry King Live about his period out of the spotlight, stating that he didn't leave his apartment for 3.5 years and ballooned from 150 to 302 pounds. He reflected on his weight gain as having an addiction to pretty much everything. At the time of his death, Corey Haim was living with his mother in an apartment located at the Oakwood Apartments between Burbank and the Hollywood Hills. On March 10, 2010, his mother called the paramedics. She could be heard on the phone recording saying, "Oh God, I think my son's dead." The Los Angeles coroner's office ruled that pneumonia was the cause of death, but Corey at the time possessed over 553 prescription pills which he acquired through illegal aliases. Corey Feldman commented that he died very destitute and alone. Neighbor Christopher Amoroso said Haim could be seen wandering around the apartment complex, looking for companionship, looking for friends. We've discussed the problems of Hollywood in the 30s on this channel, and there are occasions when the argument that it was a different time is used. The original cause of Corey Haim's addictions, according to him, was the shame he felt when a coworker sexually assaulted him when he was 14. There seems to be a running theme in Hollywood that kids are to be treated as adults, and on occasions it ruins their lives. I'm not saying they need to be babysat, and at some age they should take responsibility for their own actions, but adults should know better than to expose these kids to sexual assault, illegal drugs, and other dangers. Corey Haim is a tragic example of how a kid got thrown into the spotlight, abused, turned to drugs for comfort, and died alone. Chewed up, and spit out. Thanks for listening. If you have a topic you'd like brought to light, you can email me in the description below. Consider subscribing for more documentaries, fictional tales, and horror movie reviews. Until next time, be well.